A Nigerian pastor identified as Ade Abraham of Christ High Commission Ministry in Kaduna State is making headlines after he allegedly charged members of his church 310,000 naira each to fly them to heaven. The pastor is also being accused of conniving or convincing his followers to relocate to a camp with him in Ekiti State in order to prepare them for the end of the world. Wall of footage now making rounds on social media showed where the pastor has allegedly been camping the church members since early April. Look at this dungeon, Dr. Abati. I'm coming over. I want to believe that this story is untrue. I mean, I cannot believe this is happening in Nigeria. It feels like a movie.
Well, I mean, this is the problem with religious hypnotism. And the scandal here is that many of these people, they've turned pastors into mini gods, in fact, into the God that they worship. And they believe everything that these pastors, end-time pastors, prosperity pastors, tell them. This particular pastor, Pastor Abraham, he's called Daddy Abraham. He was based in Kaduna. He returned to Ekiti in Ekiti State in year 2000. Then he went back and told the people that, they should follow him to Ekiti, and that he would take them directly to heaven so that all of them could go and wait for rapture. And people actually followed him. Some of the persons who believed in him also tried to bring their daughters from overseas to come and follow Daddy Abraham. Okay? And there was a clause in that particular tweet, that particular WhatsApp message, that I don't want Daddy Abraham to destroy you. These pastors, I thought they were supposed to take people to heaven. In this particular case, even a member of the congregation is afraid of the daddy, because the daddy is saying, if you don't come back home, you will commit a crime abroad and you will end up in prison. So it's a combination of blackmail, of hypnotism, of violation of the doctrine. And as we sit here, some people have followed Daddy Abraham to Ekiti. I think that the state government in Ekiti should take an interest in this matter and locate that kingdom of Christ, whatever they call it, and go and rescue the people that are there. The federal government should also wait in through the police and the DSS and arrest this Daddy Abraham before he creates a Tim Jones situation.
Jim Jones.
Yeah, Jim Jones.
That's where my mind
Jim
went.
Jones.
That's where my mind went.
November 18, 1978.
Yeah.
Jim Jones was one of these hypnotists who left San Francisco and then said his congregation should follow him to an agricultural commune
in Guyana.
Hello, everybody. I hope you saw the video that I just played before this, my submission, in which the pastor actually relocated his members from Kaduna State to Ekiti State and telling them to pay 310,000 naira each as a transport fare to take them to heaven. And when we see this kind of a news and we are not worried, then something is wrong with us in Nigeria. These are issues, these are real mental issues and psychological issues that we all should be crying already. But because of our hypocrisy and our laziness, and because of the nonsense they have fed us with, touch not my anointed and do my prophet. Who is that anointed bastard that will ask people to withdraw from their normal life and pay him to take them to heaven? And now, I don't know how many of you that will be abusing this man, that will be feeling angry the way I am feeling angry. But yet, you are so conscienceless that you cannot talk about the fact that Adeboye too started this madness. Oyedepo, Kumuyi, all of them started this madness. But because they have been able to scam people to such an extent that they have accumulated wealth so much, the same wealth that their followers are looking up to, and that's the reason they are going to church thinking that they can mock God, they can deceive God. That's the reason they cannot call a spade a spade. unfortunately, we are going to be expecting more serious mentally relating issues in the nearest future if we all don't join our hands to say enough of this madness. That is number one. Then number two, how many of you have noticed the trend that these good for nothing entities have been perpetrating, such that first and foremost they tell whosoever semi-adult or young adult that attend their churches, their covens, their shrines, that they have more authority over children than their parents. How can parents labor and suffer and send their children to school, elementary, secondary school, university, some even to master's degree level, and then a useless, good for nothing, mentally derailed man who calls himself a man of God will be brainwashing such children that they have more authority over such children than their parents? Ẹ ò dẹ̀ bẹ̀rù Ọlọ́run, ẹ ò bẹ̀rù àtúbọ̀tán, yet ẹ dẹ̀ fẹ́ jẹ́ wọ́n mọ́ lẹ́yìn pásítọ̀ olórí burúkú aláyébàjẹ́ yìí. Because when Adeboye was saying it about a few years ago, that if your parent, if somebody curses you, your parents can pray to remove it. If your parents cannot remove it, then your local parish pastor can. If your local parish pastor cannot do it, then the so-so person, till he gets to his own position that your GO can remove it. Then if your GO cannot remove it, then only Jesus and God can remove it. So as redeemed members, as winners members, CAC, MFM, Believers Love World, and all of you, if you are going to be watching the video of this man and you are going to be getting angry, because your own pastors, your own GOs have done worse than, and they have laid this evil foundation that if you and I don't brace up to remove this evil foundation by first and foremost stopping to go into these shrines that they call churches, these slave camps, then there will be bigger problems. I am telling us that my own mother, my own father will have suffered and labored over me, and so many young adults are wasting away in these slave camps, that their parents are suffering, yet these pastors make them to feel that they should be working and giving them money. And yet their own parents who have suffered over them are not reaping the fruit of their hard labor over these children. Where do we begin with you, pastors? Where do we begin to address your wickedness? And lastly, thank God you all saw the video of Abel Damina, where he said these 120 fathers, the same mad people you call elders, that they called him to come and give reasons why he is liberating, why he's giving liberating message. That's why the fact that he has also made millions from teaching these rubbish stories in the Bible. Where do we begin? Guys, please wake up. Guys, I am pleading, I am begging. These men are out not only for your money, but for your lives, to make sure that your lives are meaningless. And I ask you, last, what kind of life are you leading? You are working so hard, but these men are the feathers that are preventing people from seeing your strength. I'm not going to say much more than this. Ẹni tó rí bá yọ ó dilé. We cannot say much more than this. And I am waiting eagerly for more and more people to come and antagonize me under my home page. Èpè ni máa gbé yín ré. Èpè gidi tó ń rí o, because these are not joking issues at all. That you could brainwash a people. Someone was even telling the child to come from abroad, that if the child doesn't come from abroad, to come to that place where they are taking them to heaven, that the pastor will curse the child, that the pastor will make sure that the child has problems. How did we get to this place? All of you that are still attending church, I can tell you more than 90-95% of you are thieves. You are lazy human beings. That is why you are believing in miracles. My name has not changed. Olúwarótìmí Daniel síyín náà ni. Awíkoko akékaka lójọ lọ́rọ̀ tí bá bọ́ lọ́rọ̀ bá gbọ́, kí ló fẹ́ fi mí ṣe? Nonsense.